we do appreciate everybody joining the call here today between Clients First Business Solutions, ERP VAR, and of course, Acumatica Cloud ERP. With that said, we'll kind of jump in here. Again, my name is Dan Ellis, and I've been with Clients First for about 2 years now. I've got some technical background for over the last 10 years. I also have on the call here who will be presenting the Navigating the New Normal part of the presentation. He's a cloud specialist with Acumatica. I have Kent Richardson on here. Kent?
Thank you, Dan. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Kent Richardson, the Director of Partner Enablement with Acumatica. Really appreciate Clients First inviting us to speak today and serving as one of our great partners. Looking forward to sharing some information with you today, and I hope it's a good use of everybody's time. Thanks, Dan.
Excellent. Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. So as you can see here, we'll go through the agenda today. We're going to do, I'm going to do a few minutes about Clients First Business Solutions. I know that the important piece of this presentation is talking about the new norm and how people are navigating, how businesses are navigating. But we'll also talk about the fast track methodology and phased approach after the presentation by Kent, and then the total economic impact of Acumatica ROI, a calculator that was done by Forrester, a research company, and then customer testimonial. And then the latter part, as Adrian has mentioned, we'll do some Q&A for about the last 10 to 15 minutes. If you have any questions, just kind of put them in the chat window there, and we'll answer them towards the end. So again, we appreciate it. Just to talk about Clients First Business Solutions, we are a value-added gold partner with Acumatica. We've been in business since 2003. We have over 750 customers, 90 plus employees across 7 offices nationwide, and we continue to grow year after year. Some of the particular industry focuses that we work with and have our Acumatica customers are within the job shop, manufacturing, and distribution, as well as service companies, whether that's professional services, project-oriented companies, or field service companies. As you can see with our background and both on the Acumatica product, we have over 4+ years, or 60% of our consultants having experience implementing Acumatica, as well as overall, we've been in business since, as I mentioned, since 2003. We have technical consultants that have over 15 years of experience at 50% of our team. So again, that's just a quick kind of overview with Clients First. Our goal here is not to provide you with a software. We're here to provide you with a partnership. That is our approach. We want to make sure you understand and how you can put together a solution and be able to implement that solution to help grow your business, as that's the most important thing in our mind. So with that said, I'm going to pass this over to Kent, and he's going to get into the meat of the presentation, and we'll go from there. Kent?
Thank you, Dan. Please give me a thumbs up or let me know when you can see my screen.
We see it.
Fabulous. All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, let me begin by saying I know all of us on this call and all of us in our personal and professional lives are probably experiencing, like myself and my family are, a significant amount of COVID-19, fatigue. It's certainly been a challenging time for all of us personally and professionally. And let me begin by saying I hope everybody out there in your personal lives, your extended families, and your professional lives are being safe and being smart and getting through this. The purpose of today's conversation is really to introduce some concepts and topics of how COVID-19 has not only helped, craft what was a new normal, but really how it is laying the groundwork for the next normal. And we've had a lot of conversations internal to Acumatica about that. And for those of you that don't know, Acumatica goes to market exclusively through a community of talented partners such as Clients First, and we've been having extensive conversations with our partners on how best to to service them during this difficult time and how best to service their customers during this difficult time. I don't know if you guys saw the quotes on that opening page as you came to the webinar today, but there was Liz Palmer from Palmer Food Services. You know, our heart certainly goes out to them. They suffered through some terrible tornadoes in Nashville, Tennessee, and then COVID-19 came upon them. And you know, fortunately for them and fortunately for us, they had invested in Acumatica and they were able to continue to operate during these difficult times. So let's go ahead and jump right off in today's conversation, and then I'll be handing it back over to Dan. Come on, PowerPoint. There we go. For those of you that aren't familiar with Gartner Group, a well-respected, well-established analyst firm that really focuses in on the mid-market and mid-market ERP vendors, and I have the very good pleasure of actually knowing Bob Anderson for over 20 years now. I met Bob when I started as a partner in this industry, and I have continued my relationship with him, and Bob has graciously given me permission to share the Gartner Group insights on what customers are looking for in today's world, and how these changes and how these requirements are going to move even more quickly in the time of COVID-19, the new normal and the next normal. And so what customers are really looking for today is this concept of instant availability everywhere on anything. It's how we work today. We wake up in the morning, we check our smartphones, we see what we have to do for the day. Heck, I don't know, you guys are probably like me. I check my calendar before I go to bed at night to make sure I'm not missing anything for the next day. They want those intelligent embedded technologies to help them manage that day, those workflows, those business alerts, those dashboards, those key performance indicators that can help them manage their business from wherever they are. They also recognize, and these are customer expectations, that there needs to be some sort of platform or extensibility within the technology that they're going to invest in. And Harvard Business Review, which I've added to Bob's slides here, has a tremendous article called Finding the Platform in Your Product. And Dan, if you're going to share this presentation with the attendees, that Finding the Platform in Your Product is a hyperlink that will take you to the Harvard Business Review article. Well worth your read. The other thing that customers continue to look for are consumer level simplicity. It's how we work today. You know, none of us had to be trained on how to use the Uber app. Well, maybe some of us did. I struggled out of the gate with it a little bit. But the expectation for consumers and customers these days is I want to be able to get to the internet, get into my application, and start deriving value from that as quickly as I can. Access over ownership, that relates to I don't want to have to go out and buy expensive computer hardware and invest in people that are going to manage operating systems and databases and virtual private networks and Citrix servers and all that good stuff. I want to be able to plug in and have everybody else worry about that. I just need access to the technology that's going to run my business. And I have to be able to extend and integrate this central nervous system or heartbeat of my company as quickly and seamlessly as possible. Improved connections between people and data goes without saying. All of us are working remotely and we're communicating through, you know, a new technology, and we have people that have to have extended license requirements, and people need to talk and work differently. And then the last thing is success measured by outcomes. When you're working with a talented partner like Clients First, customers have a responsibility to identify what are those outcomes that we're looking for in this project, okay? And we want to make sure we drive to measure success against those outcomes. And I know Dan's going to go through a great tool that Forrester has put together for our partners in Acumatica to help you guys drive towards outcomes. So if that's the expectation of customers, and that's only going to accelerate, oops, go the other way, Ken. What do customers and partners need to do to stay relevant in this new and next normal? Well, the first thing is we have to innovate. You know, we have to figure out what new business models are going to be prevalent in the next normal. How quickly can I get to market? How quickly can I start to have a different relationship with my customers? there's going to be an incredible need for that digital relationship, that web presence relationship, as brick and mortar stores continue to consolidate on the web, and even manufacturers and distributors now have to have a different relationship with their customers, which will drive your competitive advantage. And then from an efficiency standpoint, okay, we have to do this quickly. We have to optimize on best practices. We have to lower our costs that we deliver to our customers, and that as customers, we deliver to our customers. So these are things that customers and partners and publishers such as Acumatica need to do to stay relevant. I just thought this was a great starting off slide from the Gartner Group on what customers are expecting. It was relevant as we began the year and ended last year, and it's even more relevant today. Again, not to drag out the COVID-19 conversation too long, but if you go out to the interwebs and do the Google, as my parents would say, is everybody out there is giving advice and suggesting on where this world is going. Ernst & Young has a great series of articles on it. Forbes magazine has a great series of articles on it. I think this concept that I've highlighted in blue there of, for starters, as businesses embrace work from home, investments in video conferencing and collaboration software are essential. And there is no more critical collaboration software than that software that runs your finances, runs your inventory, runs your manufacturing, runs your sales, because all of those business units need to collaborate and work seamlessly together. And now we have the added challenge of having to do it in physically separate locations. McKinsey's got a great series of articles around COVID-19. I draw your attention to, the bottom paragraph there in blue. With offline shopping collapsing, company strategies will need to focus on fortifying their web presence. And in some cases, some of us are going to have to build that online business for the first time ever. Entrepreneur Magazine has a good series of articles as well. Not to find humor in what we're all going through right here, but I think it is a very accurate meme. There's a conversation that goes on today that says, who's responsible for your company's digital transformation? And is it your chief technology officer? Is it your CEO? Or is it COVID-19? Whether we like it or not, the events of today are transforming how we do business and pushing us into a more digital relationship, both internally and externally. You hate to view it this way, and I hate to think of the word opportunity, but unfortunately that's what it is. During these challenging times, there are opportunities for us to reinvent ourselves, restructure ourselves, reintroduce ourselves to the market in a new and different way that are not only going to help us survive COVID-19, but thrive and be well positioned for the next normal, which is going to be here, for a long time. Okay. What I like about this slide here, and I'm going to build it out pretty quickly, is that, here's the opportunity for us to take this moment in time and focus on innovation. And there's incremental innovation, there's sustainable innovation, and there's disruptive innovation. But the key part is that bottom paragraph is that not all innovation is technological. We don't necessarily have to, as customers or partners, develop a new widget, a new this or a new that. It can be business model innovation. And that's what I encourage our partners to look at. And I know that our talented partners, such as Clients First, are going out to their customers and saying, we need to really think about how we're going to exist as a business model and how we're going to fundamentally deliver value together in this new normal and next normal. So now that we've all come to an agreement, since we've known each other for 7 minutes, that yes, there are expectations that customers have, and yes, the world is changing rapidly, and we find ourselves smack dab in the middle of a new normal and getting ready to prepare ourselves for the next normal. It's lasting. We have to be resilient. The distributed and remote workforce is here to stay, and e-commerce or an enhanced web presence are going to be fundamental elements of our business moving forward. So allow me for the next few moments to speak to how Acumatica, who as a 12-year-old company who was born and built to be delivered in the cloud, finds ourselves unfortunately, very well positioned to support our partners and our customers in this new and next normal. So let's talk about this concept of transforming ourselves in the new digital economy. Now, what do we mean by digital transformation? Yeah, this isn't a highfalutin analyst term. This isn't something that is really that complex. If we think about our personal lives and in how we have become much more digital beings, we used to take our film to the pharmacy to be developed into prints, and now we have digital photographs. I have 1,000 million digital photographs of my grandson and our granddaughter, and we get our television over Netflix. We don't necessarily go to the theater as much. It all comes digitally to our homes. We do our banking electronically. So we have become digital beings, and our businesses are now becoming digital beings, which means that instead of having a piece of paper that is a sales order that moves from order to cash, we now have a digital process. So let's not be intimidated by this concept of a digital transformation. We're in the middle of it. We're going through it. We shouldn't be afraid of it. It's just a snappy way that the industry and the marketing experts have decided to describe what we're going through as individuals and as companies. So Acumatica has rethought how we want to message ourselves. Fundamentally, who we are and what we do hasn't changed, but because of what we've all been experiencing over the last 90 days, Acumatica has come up with some new bullet points that we think more accurately reflect the times, as it were. And that is this concept of the connected business. That is something that Acumatica delivers. Rapid integrations, again, something that Acumatica delivers. And we're going to talk about these things here in a little bit more detail as I move along. Remote collaboration, we talked about that just a few minutes ago. We see it all the time where we have customers that come to us today and say, Kent, we have 10 people in accounting, and we used to only have 5 licenses, and we could share them as we worked around the office in our cubes, but now everybody's working from home and everybody has to have access to the system. How are we going to accomplish that? And we have a good answer for that. Business resilience, the ability to sustain yourself as a business when times are tough. And then to be able to future-proof your business, in other words, have a platform that allows you to extend, create some intellectual property that allows you to be competitive in the marketplace. So this is kind of what Acumatica has landed on the things that we believe in and we can deliver to the marketplace. For those of you that aren't necessarily familiar with Acumatica, again, we're a 12-year-old company. Our corporate headquarters, North American headquarters, is in the greater Seattle, Washington area. The analyst community thinks very highly of us. Our software has been awarded multiple awards. We're certainly very proud of what we've been able to accomplish here at Acumatica, but it's even nicer when we have partners such as Clients First wanting to invest in Acumatica and bring our technology into their community, and then independent organizations, be it PC Editor's Choice or G2 Crowd, Gartner, Forrester, IDC, all thinking very highly of Acumatica. Most importantly, and again, this is kind of the meat of the presentation, why do customers and partners choose Acumatica? What are the compelling reasons previous to COVID-19, but now under the microscope and multiplied and amplified by COVID-19? Why are people coming this way? The first is this concept of anytime, anywhere, any device. Acumatica is available on your iPhone, on your Android phone, on your iPad, on your Kindle Fire. If you can get to the internet, you can get to Acumatica. And Acumatica dynamically resizes from your Apple Watch to your phone to your tablet, and the business and the functionality follows you from place to place. This goes back to the story I was referring to of waking up in the morning, or, there is going to come a day in the not too distant future when, we do leave school, we do leave work early to attend our children's sporting events and theater event, and we have to duck out of the office a little bit early, and, we can sit there and approve that purchase order and that expense report and make, suggestions on the business as it follows us throughout our day. It's unfortunate that we can plug into our business 24 hours a day, but let's face it, that's where we find ourselves today. There's a great video out there on YouTube about how Acumatica actually interacts with Alexa, so you can check your laptop inventory. And I'm going to say Amanda because my Alexa is going to kick off here again. The next thing is this concept of flexible deployment options. So the Gartner Group or the analyst community word will be cloud portability. Where do I want my Acumatica workload to reside? Traditionally, and for the most of our customers, Acumatica resides in the Acumatica cloud running on Amazon Web Services infrastructure. That's where over 94% of Acumatica's customers reside. However, if there's a regulatory compliant or a personal preference, you can move your Acumatica workload into a Google Cloud, into an Azure Cloud. I don't know if anybody saw the news today, but the IBM Cloud went down today, so I didn't necessarily do that. But if you've got a local data center that you're comfortable and confident with, you can move your Acumatica workload into that local data center as well. And then we call that the private cloud option. And then for those customers that have, for whatever reason, intermittent internet access, we do have places in the United States still today where internet availability is not as confident as they would like it to be. So if you want to run it in your data center on premise, we allow for that. So this concept of flexible deployment options has customers very excited about what Acumatica is doing. This concept of the connected cloud. I'm quite confident that many of you on the call today have invested in other cloud offerings, be it Salesforce.com or Office 365 or Avalara Tax Services or DocuSign. You have to have the ability to take those cloud investments that you've made previously and have them integrate with your new cloud business management system. And Acumatica's very open and flexible API layer that surrounds our technology and our platform allows for that. So gone are the days, and some of our partners are of mixed opinions on this, but those old ODBC connections that had to be rewritten every time a new version of this, that, or the other came out, that has really gone the way of the dinosaur, as it were. The last thing I'd like to talk about on what and why people are choosing Acumatica is this concept of modern growth-friendly licensing. The first thing Acumatica fundamentally believes is that we believe that everybody should contribute to and benefit from the business management system and technology that customers invest in. So no longer should we put customers in the difficult decision of choosing that, Kent, we really like you, but we don't have enough money to give you a license and benefit from the system. So Acumatica goes to market under this concept of unlimited users. Okay, now some of you out there are saying, well, that sounds expensive, and you're rolling your eyes. Well, the way Acumatica does this is we are a consumption-based on the infrastructure that you will consume to run your business. So clients first and Acumatica and our customers sit down around a table and we take some measurements, okay? And those measurements are a volumetric approach to purchase orders, sales orders, accounts payable, accounts receivable, processes and transactions that happen over a month. Now, whatever of those buckets happens to be the largest is what we're going to use to size the infrastructure that we're going to deploy on your behalf in the cloud. And that consumption of infrastructure becomes an element of your cost to the system. Now, those people that are the executives within the customer, CFO, CEO, that just use it to see, dashboards and financial data, they're not processing infrastructure requests, as it were, so it doesn't add to your cost, as it were. We'll have more time to talk about this if you're interested in, but we fundamentally believe that having everybody contribute to and benefit from, based on their role and their responsibility within the organization, not everybody can see everything. I hope that's understood. Okay, moving along. Certainly in a distributed work environment, modern security becomes a must. So many of our customers choose to execute upon two-factor authentication. And that means as Kent signs into Acumatica, I get a text on my phone with the SuperDuper's code so that I can log in, so everybody knows that, yes, indeed, that is Kent logging into the business management system. Data ownership in the cloud becomes incredibly important. You have access and ownership of 100% of your data 100% of the time. And at any point in time, on any given day, if you want to take a snapshot of all of your data, that's available for you to do. So in summary, before I turn it back over to Dan, COVID-19 isn't going anywhere. The next normal is here to stay. And if I'm a customer looking to invest in new technology to run my business, I really need to think about these things. I need to have access to that technology anytime, anywhere, on any device. I need to make sure that technology can connect to every other cloud technology I've invested in. I don't necessarily want to be stuck in one data center option, okay? I don't necessarily fit in the old model of every single user has to pay for every single license. And if I'm going to throw in and invest with somebody, it's got to be with a safe and stable organization. We're certainly very, very pleased and proud that Acumatica checks those boxes, and we look forward to supporting clients first in any conversations you might have in moving forward. Thanks for your time today. Thanks for your attention. Thank you, Clients First, for the opportunity today. Dan, taking it back over to you.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for that, Kent. Appreciate it. I just want to verify, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Yes, we can. We can see it.
Oh, so you can see fast track methodology?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, excellent. Well, thank you again, Ken. I really appreciate it. The latter part of this presentation or lunch and learn is I want to talk a little bit about what Clients First and how we are approaching our clients here today. And that's through fast track methodology. And what that means is I'll get into a little bit more of a project scope, the phased approach benefits, how are we helping companies like yourself come up with an idea plan so that you don't see those high costs and disruptions of your business when you're implementing a software solution. The idea of this fast track methodology is to help you get up to speed on a system quickly, but also efficiently, and make sure that everybody is on the same page. And when you need to add more things, like modules or functionality to the system, and your company's ready to do that, we can do that. That's what makes Acumatica's product so unique. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, and the project success factors and how we get there, and then calculating, your ROI. From a project scope, as I kind of mentioned before earlier, we focus within the manufacturing or project accounting, distribution, field services, or professional services. That's kind of our bulk of what we focus with. We do work with some other industries, but it gives you an idea of what we are, what our experience is and expertise. From a phased approach, the benefits of a phased approach is to do a logical grouping of business requirements. We want to understand what is most important to you today. What are those challenges that you're facing, and how can we help you overcome those, as quickly as possible? And then being able to focus on what will move the business forward and the fastest. And so, having this phased approach allows us to kind of outlay for you, a 1, 2, 3 phase or 4 phase, or maybe even, a 5 phase approach to help get your business in position to be successful with a full-blown cloud ERP system like Acumatica. And by doing that, instead of getting those all upfront costs and having to deal with the implementation and disruption of your business, we'll spread that out over time so that you can be able to optimize or over time optimize that cash outlay. And as Ken discussed earlier, what makes Acumatica a bit unique is that you have access to unlimited users within the system, and that you can grow with your organization. You don't get those additional fees and costs, by adding additional licenses as your company grows. And then being able to add, different functionality, add some more bells and whistles that make sense when your time is appropriate. This allows businesses to put in play a approach that will help the business grow during implementation and post-implementation or deployment. And again, those benefits, you go live faster. Instead of going, doing an implementation takes, 10 months, 12 months, over a year to implement a software. We can speed up that process by doing this methodology and do it, in 2 months, 3 months, or 4 or 5, depending on the complexity and what all you want to get done out of the gate. And it also helps you outlay what those fixed costs are over a period of time. And again, it's, with Acumatica, it's been ranked as the highest in usability for over 4 years now by Nucleus Research, atop of all the other brand named ERP systems that are out there. So by being able to take all of these benefits and kind of put them together, we then have success. We then be able to provide you with a successful partnership that will last not only during and post deployment, but also long term. We can foster open communications and share the vision and empower team members so that they can establish a clear, accountable, and shared responsibility. And this will allow businesses to focus on delivering the value, what is important to the business and the value of the organization, where they want to head to in the future. And this helps invest the quality of time, learn from all of the experiences that you've done. And at the end of the day, clients first, Business Solution is here to help you grow your business. It's not all about what software you select. It's not all about what happens with how you deal with your challenges. It's about how clients first can help you through that process, be a partner long term. And, to jump back to a little bit about the Forrester, as Kent has mentioned earlier, and I mentioned early on in my presentation, it's about total economic impact, how Acumatica can benefit your organization. And it's nice to see that, having a product like Acumatica helps you reduce or reallocate your IT resources by 50%, as well as increase sales volume by 15%. These are factors that you can get out of utilizing and entering information and trying to calculate your ROI in reference to how Acumatica can help your business grow. And at the end of the day, that's what's most important to us, is to make you more efficient, more scalable for a business to grow for years to come. And with that said, the last thing I wanted to kind of mention is, Clients First has been very successful implementing systems. And in fact, Power Storage Solutions, a client of Clients First, was recognized by Acumatica in 2019 as Customer of the Year. So that shows how much value we put towards our customers and how we can not only improve Power Storage Solutions, ability to be successful and continue during these difficult times and to continue to grow their business during these times, but also allows, us to be a trusted advisor for you. So with that said, we're at the end of the Lunch and Learn. What we like to do here is answer any questions that you may have from this presentation, and we'll spend the latter portion of this to kind of get those answers. So we can kind of take it away from there. Is there any questions?
There are a couple questions here, and I would like to launch a poll while we're announcing the questions. So here's our first poll. Are you interested in learning more? If you could just take a second to answer this question, that would be great. And Dan, regarding Power Storage Solutions, can you tell us a little bit about the systems that they were on and how you guys extracted the data out of those systems and the duration it took to take them live?
Yeah, sure. Actually, Nancy, I know you were more closely in with that project. Could you help answer that question?
Sure. This is Nancy Philippi, and I'm also a sales rep for Clients First and the Acumatica product, my most favorite product to sell. But what happened, and we also have a video that we can share a link with you about, and a case study. So with Power Storage, and as a matter of fact, Derek wanted to be here from Power Storage, but he's actually on vacation to speak to you today. But they, were a startup basically. They broke away from Interstate Battery, or sold portion of the company to Power Storage. Interstate Battery did, and so they had to start up and get off of the Interstate Battery system as soon as they could. And so there was a push to get them going and get the functionality they needed quickly. Acumatica has a very high level of ease of use. It's been ranked the leader in ease of use for 4 years in a row. It was just announced June 2nd that it hit their list again as the leader in ease of use for 2020. So with that said, Acumatica, it's very easy to train people. It's very easy to import data. As long as your data is clean, the imports are very easy to get your master files and your historical data imported. Far easier than, and I hate to say easy because consultants always get mad at me when I say easy, but I've been in this industry for 25 years, and data conversion costs are always outrageous, and every other ERP system I've sold except for Acumatica. So that's how we were able to get them up and going quickly. Is number one, it's easy to train. It's very easy to learn. We work with a lot of QuickBooks customers as well, and QuickBooks accounting people usually don't want to change off QuickBooks, but when they see Acumatica, their fears are alleviated, and they love it because it's easy to use. However, you still have that gap in ACIPA accounting practices behind it. So it's easy to use and then to train on, and as well, it's easy to get your data in there so you have some meaningful information to get started with. Did that address that question?
Yes, I think that was a very good answer. Thank you for that, Nancy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nancy.
Nancy,
I'm sorry, guys. This is Kent Richardson. Just I think they moved from Salesforce, Workday, and Oracle to Acumatica.
Right.
And everything that Nancy said about import-export of data, and also I can't stress enough this concept of usability. Anytime you change technology platforms, one of the keys is how quickly can your end users adopt and embrace a new platform, because if they don't use it, it becomes shelfware. And that's why Acumatica really strives for that intuitive user interface, an easy to use piece, so that customers can get a rapid return on investment, early visible results, and a rapid time to value. Sorry to interrupt, Nancy.
No, that's great. He's absolutely right. He says it, Kent says it a little bit more eloquently than I do. So I see another question if we want to address as well, Adrian. It's regarding the consumption-based model. And to address that, and Kent may have some feedback on this as well, but we have many customers using Acumatica. A lot of our customers, most of them, have some distribution within their industry. We have one customer that processes about 4,000 or 5,000 orders a month, maybe more. And the consumption model didn't work for them. So they went to concurrent users. So whatever your business requirement is and your consumption level needed, we'll make it work for you. Now, that's one example. All our other customers, they're on the consumption based. They have no issue with it. And as a matter of fact, and Kent, don't go back and report to Acumatica on this, but many times our customers will get very close or over the consumption model, and we have a dashboard that we can look at and see how our customers are doing. Acumatica doesn't say anything. They don't turn you off. And after it continues for a few months, they'll call us and they'll say, hey, Nancy, you need to call so-and-so because they probably need to upgrade their tier. And what that means is upgrading a tier is you're just paying the difference from the previous tier that you were on to the next tier. So the costs are not that great. And in fact, Acumatica provides you with a M1 or medium 1 tier level when you purchase the software, and that's a promotion that they've had, and it's been going on for quite some time. I don't know when that will end, if ever, but that gives you up to 3,000 monthly commercial transactions. Now, what does that mean? That means the highest of one of these items, either sales orders, shipments, AR invoices, customer payments, purchase orders, purchase receipts, AP bills, and vendor payments. So you have to have 3,001 sales orders for it to make any difference, which 3,001 wouldn't make a difference. You might have, if you start having performance issues, you would want to raise your hand and say, hey, we're having performance issues. And during those discussions, you might have to go up a tier. It doesn't mean that if I have 500 sales orders, 500 purchase orders, 500 AP bills, and et cetera, it's not aggregated together. Okay, it's one of those items. They only count one document in your consumption based. Most customers that we work with and the mid-market don't exceed 3,000 of any of those, except for, well, there's a couple of exceptions, but like I said, it's never been an issue for our customers.
The only thing, that's a great explanation, Nancy. The only thing I would add to that, and again, this is Kent Richardson with Acumatica, is let's say you are a lawn and garden company or you're a retail company and you have an incredibly busy period of the year. The Black Friday through January 15th, we're going to blow that number completely out of the water. Or, during the summertime when we're doing all of our landscaping and yard work, we're going to blow that number out of the water. Well, Acumatica recognizes that, and we will, stand up 90 days of special infrastructure for those customers that have those requirements. We just fundamentally believe that, everybody in the warehouse, everybody in accounting, every salesperson, every executive, should see what's going on in the company and have the ability to contribute to and benefit from that. So we've decided to go to market with this infrastructure consumption piece. It's not you're not going to get a bill. For those of you that have or have had teenagers on your cell phone plan, you're not going to get a bill the next month that's going to be double because, oh my goodness gracious, Kent went crazy on streaming videos last month. That's not how we work. Okay, so certainly it begs a longer conversation, and you have clients first that can walk you through it. But it's proven to be, our customers really like this approach, and they're benefiting greatly from it. Sorry to interrupt, Nancy.
No, perfect. I always forget about the seasonal side. And perfect, yeah, they don't turn you off. You don't get a nasty email or letter. Acumatica just does not work that way. They're an amazing vendor publisher to work with.
And one thing I want to add to what Ken said, not to say that every single person will have access to every part of the business in there. You can tailor those users specific to what they get access to. It's very easy to customize. It's stuff that you can do yourself as a business, and it's easy to get trained up on. So I just wanted to kind of point that out, that you're not letting your inventory guy get access to your financials, or your financials get access to other parts of the business that relevant to what they do as a role. Those roles can be specific and be added in there easily. It's a very easy customizable system.
And configurable,
excuse me. I should say customized.
And customizable. I mean, we have IP, intellectual property for the Acumatica solution. We have a maintenance, repair, and overhaul. It's called Pro MRO. We also have Pro NPO for nonprofits. So we have a lot of experience in not only the financials dealing with nonprofits, but we have a vast amount of experience within the manufacturing and projects. So are there any more questions, Adrian?
I am not seeing any more questions. If there's any last minute questions, just a reminder to the audience, there's a question mark right next to your name on the webinar pane. just click on that question and a dialog box will open up. You can key in your question and we will announce it. I see that 69% of you have voted. Looks like 72%. If we could get that up to 100, that would be awesome. I'll let that sit up there for just a second more. I'm going to peek at the questions.
And I'll make one last comment. We will send over a recording as well as the link to the Forrester economic total economic impact, so you guys can take a look at that and have easy access to seeing how that works.
Perfect. And if you guys did answer yes to this question, either Nancy or Dan will be following up with you accordingly. And we hope to see you all on a future webinar. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join us. We really appreciate it, everyone. Did Nancy, Dan, or Kent have any closing remarks?
Just many thanks to our talented partner clients first, and to everyone on the call. Be safe, be smart, and best wishes from Acumatica.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I hope you got your lunch. Have a great day.
All right, everybody, take care. Bye-bye.